Welcome to another episode of What About with Pat and Andy. He's Pat and I'm Andy, and that's not how it went. I can't remember it.
Did it? Let me try.
Okay.
Hey, welcome to What About with Andy and Pat. That's Andy. Fuck, I'm not Andy. That's not Pat.
Not fucking as it's harder than you fucking think, buddy.
Harder. I didn't practice this week, but how you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing fucking great. You already know because we chit-chatted on the pre-show, and if you're watching in the future on YouTube, head over to the Twitch channel. Actually, this week, I had to do a bit of an early episode because I'm going to judge later tonight Comedy Fight Club, so check out my social for whenever that pops out. I will be letting you know, but on average, I hop on this Twitch stream 4 p.m., hang out, talk some shit, play some video games, then 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we hop on the Twitch. I bring Patty One Bananas over, and we talk about some fucking tunes. And Pat, for the people who didn't miss the pre-show, how you been, buddy?
I've been pretty good. You know,
that did miss the pre-show. Talking's fucking weird, man.
Hey, idiots. Guess what? If you're not here for the pre-show, that's your fucking bad. But this one time, I'm going to fill you in. I'm doing good.
Fuck yeah. Oh, and
don't miss the pre-show, or you're going to miss stuff like that.
Fuck yeah. And I will say, check out the, you can watch the replays on YouTube Tuesdays, 7 p.m. Definitely, we got to get better at telling people about that shit. Yeah. We got to fucking let them fucking know, because we've been pumping out some hot content lately. It's been hot and spicy, and I've been very proud of the words we've been spitting.
Boners episodes. We've been talking about bands from the times of our childhood as well as other people's childhood. That's right. We had one with John Montag just on Wednesday. Oh, yeah. It was a surprise Wednesday stream, bitch. But guess what? You loved it.
It was great. The turnout was good. That's why I don't give a... I mean, I want the YouTube viewers to be up, but the fucking people hanging out on the Twitch...
That's what I'm saying. Do you think it's
made me a happy fucking bibby, dude. What'd you say? I'm sorry.
I was telling them, do you think it's different on Sundays? It's the same one. Come on, guys. It's the same show on Sundays. Enjoy both of them.
Fuck yeah, dude. All right. So every week we ask the question, what about? And last week, besides the bonus show, last Sunday, Pat was asking what about Late for Life, which was a really interesting band. And listening to them, they were like a ska band with that sort of. They weren't just a ska band; they sort of encompassed a lot of genres. Right. And the band I wanted to talk about this week. I was like, oh, they're definitely. Is the video okay over on the Twitch? Sorry, I'm getting like a message over here. Is the video okay? Yeah, video's good. Because the band, they were sort of like, they were a ska band that they had like, you know, they weren't just ska, there were a whole bunch of genres. And this band that I want to talk about now, I knew I was going to bring them up at some point. I just didn't know when. You want to wait till the right time, wait till it feels natural. Right. And after listening to this band, I immediately was like, oh shit. Pat, you want to hear my version of this shit? So last week, I asked the question that we're also asking today. I asked the question, what about Daly's Gone Wrong? Exit where you belong. And I'm excited to talk about this. I'm going to try to get into as much detail as I can because, sadly, many of you probably don't know who they are. And I'm not one of those hipsters who gets a fucking thick one because I'm the only one who knows about the band. Now, I will say I do have those moments where, like, the band will get a little bit too popular, and like, all right, we're losing you to the rest of the world because you're getting too big to turn back. Right. But hey, man, it was a great ride, and you're almost like you let them free like Air Bud. You're just sitting there, you're like, just go on the top 40s, go on late night shows. I'm done with you anyway.
And you whisper to yourself, and you see somebody wearing their shirt, and you're like, I know about them before you.
That makes me cooler than you.
Yeah, I'm definitely way cooler than you. No, I think that's the thing. I had that with Tenacious D. I told a lot of people about, like, I was like, hey man, like this.
Hey guys, my uncles are in a great band. You should really listen to them. And for the sake of fairness, that joke can apply to me as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say either way. I mean, but my very talented uncles for sure, because
incredibly talented uncles.
That was the thing that I have that. But with this band, I don't know if necessarily. I don't want to give too much away about my thoughts about it, but I'm not sure. I think there may be a reason why maybe you felt like you were the one that only person that knew about this band, and I have a theory on that.
Interesting. But so
But
I'm very.
in the
What?
meantime, why don't you tell me some of your favorite aspects about this particular?
Well,
album and why you picked
I'm actually, not to cut you off, I'm actually curious because like when I picked this one, I was very excited to talk about it, but overdoing the because like I was laughing. When we first started, I realized all I knew about you musically. I was like, Pat likes NoFX.
Yeah.
So I was like, whenever you suggest something that I'm like, but this isn't NoFX. Why do you like this?
Yeah.
I was just basically.
I did the same thing with you. I'm like, yeah, Andy likes Run the Jewels. And then anytime you were listening to anything else, I'm like, Andy, this isn't Run the Jewels. What do you
Yeah, so I was like, why is Pat suggesting not? I feel like we do all the NoFX albums, all the Run the Jewels albums, and then the show would be over.
We call it What About Run the Jewels and NoFX, and that's it. With Andy and Pat. That's Andy.
That's the show. We just we go through Run the Jewels and NoFX, and then no more fucking show. Patreon exclusive, limited series.
Which, by the way, and none of those episodes, at least we have done one episode with one of those bands, but it's not released. But
oh yeah, we still got that in the fucking.
Right, we could stream that one Wednesday if you want.
We could do that. We should do that. But yeah, so I was actually the whole time talking about this, or listening to this album this week. I got all my thoughts and shit, but I was actually kind of laughing because I'm like, I will put money on that you didn't like this.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, not like hate it, but just be like, it was fine.
I did not like the first song, but I didn't hate it at all.
Really?
Yeah, not at all.
Interesting.
I did not like the first song, but I did, and only really the beginning part of it. And again, that kind of ties into
the breakdown stuff.
Yeah, it's mainly the scream, the vocal of during the breakdown, like the.
Oh yeah, he's got a very messy scream.
I'm not a big fan of it.
Because there's groups like Every Time I Die, I think they have one of the best screams where you can actually, for the most part, after a couple listens, know exactly what he's saying.
Yeah.
But this band, dude, even with it would crack me up so much because I would like follow along to the lyrics sometimes, and even following along to the lyrics, you're like, I'm not sure what he's saying.
Yeah.
You're like, I can't match it up.
It doesn't, and it could be anything. Like that's what I'm saying is usually in those like hardcore bands, like after doing like the Late for Life one especially, and then also the episode with John that we did about the album, the brand new album on Wednesday. Like I think we're all feeling a little bit more nostalgic, and we're all kind of like, I was like going into some more music. You were talking about a song that you sent me a song from your band that you kind of felt like you ripped off. Or
not that I
say influence, but like
no. So musically, the song I sent Pat because he told me we were going to talk about brand new, and then I was laughing because I have this song that my band that when I was in like college and shit. That I had this song I wrote the song in college, and then later when we were doing the band that I was in, this one song, like we started playing it with the band and like revamped it and shit. And this song specifically, like if you listen to it, it doesn't sound completely like this one brand new song. But when I was writing it, I was like 1000% like trying to write my version of brand new's 70 times 7.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a lot of times you may end up going towards that, like, and then we're all kind of sending like I was talking to John about stuff, like sending him like certain things like I sent you I think a couple of songs like I recorded with, like I was like super impressed with myself like recording. I forgot where I was going with that initially. I'm sorry. Where I was going with that point.
We're talking about bringing up our own songs because of Late for Life.
Yeah.
Or no, like our own self-produced songs.
Maybe that's it. I can't remember the thought I was going to share, but I was like, essentially it was like, but I was listening to a recording that I did for a friend of mine's band, like this, the Tower of Silence, the shirt I was wearing last week.
Yeah.
And the vocalist, I remember finding out, didn't have lyrics. he was just making noises.
Seriously?
Yeah, and he would just make up words during the song, and I was like, "Wait, what?" And I was like, and then also there was like a lot of
wait, like every single time they did a show, he would make up lyrics.
Yeah, like apparently, if it was like a sound that worked to him, he would like keep that. But as far as I remember, he didn't have like lyrics or like anything like that, or even he would make it like each take would be different.
That's so fucking funny, dude.
Right, and it's just like. But it was also like, okay, so we need a little bit of consistency. Like, so when you're saying that you can't understand what they're saying when they're screaming, it could usually be anything anyway. They could just write poetry afterwards and be like, that's what I'm saying during this part. And it's like, really? Yeah. But it sounded kind of like, I didn't love it because it just sounded, I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, it didn't sound like a cheating scream, but it did sound like a kind of a garbly scream. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Wait, what do you mean? Wait, what's a cheating scream?
Like the kind of like the guy from Atreyu sounds. Like a lot of times, like it almost sounds like they're inward singing. You know, like yeah.
Like the Atreyu guy is the best.
It's just like you sound like a shithead.
Yeah, no, he definitely does like where he like puckers out his lips and everything and does the. But no, I like the scream. I don't mind it. My only thing is like it's literally you can't comprehend one thing he's saying during it. But that's also too. There's a lot of like especially when you go into like the pig squealing and shit like that kind of stuff. You get that with a lot more like hardcore bands and stuff.
Yeah. So I guess that's the thing is like. Is this a band like John was talking about when he discovered Brand New? It was kind of like a local show kind of thing, getting a demo.
So,
or like, did you see them live first and get their demo, or did you hear about them somewhere else?
Well, so I actually there's a lot of bands you like listen to and you just kind of like know about them. Like I was remembering, like you ever listen to Thursday?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I was like, I can't 100% like pinpoint why I like or where I first. I think my brother had their CD and I borrowed it or whatever.
Yeah.
Or it might have been a compilation or whatever. This band, Daly's Gone Wrong, I found them out Big D and the Kids Table, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like them a lot, and which I'll probably bring them up in the future when we've been doing ska for too long. We'll have to take a break from ska and come back. But I like them a lot. They put out a video for it was either their song Noise Complaint or Shining On, which if you guys have it, listen to Noise Complaint. It's one of the most fun songs I've ever heard. And so it was one of those songs. This dude named Dan Doby directed their shit. And this was before YouTube. So I think it was before YouTube. I was using it regularly if YouTube was a thing. So like these dudes who would direct the music videos, they would just have all the music videos they ever made on their website. So I went to his website to watch the Big D and the Kids Table video, and then I just started scrolling through watching a bunch of other fucking music videos the guy made, and then I stopped on this one and I was like, okay, this one looks pretty cool, and they're playing like the fun, they're playing is their song Die 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 and Then Some. And they're playing the fucking fun, fast ska punk shit. And then in the middle of it, you hear the like the heavy part, and then they do the scream where he goes, "Murder was the gun that she gave me," or whatever. But it's like this high pitched, like screeching scream. And I'm in like mid high school, sophomore, junior year, something like that. I'm like maybe. I know I had listened to Every Time I Die at this point, but like barely anything else with screaming or whatever. I remember fucking God. I listened to such little hardcore music back then. The first time I heard fucking Ohio Is for Lovers, when he hits the fucking Cut My Wrist and Black My Eyes where he screams it, I was like, oh, that's getting a little heavy. Yeah. Ooh.
Take it easy there.
Yeah, when you're deprived of heavy music, fucking Hawthorne Heights tickles you real good.
Yeah, Jesus. Yeah, there was definitely. So it was almost like you were in a breakdown desert. Like
I was in a
food desert. So you're like there was no breakdowns anywhere near you. Like nobody could there's nowhere you could like send somebody to bring some back for you or anything like that.
No.
All you had was ska.
Yeah, no, I couldn't go over to the rich neighborhood and get some breakdowns. And so I saw that and I was like, holy fucking shit. And that was wild to me. And I remember, so this was the age before like streaming services, you had to get their album and shit. And I remember, I think I was like listening to, oh, that's right. I think I was like listening to a bunch of their shit on their like MySpace page or whatever. Because you could post like 5 or 8 songs on there. I forget what it was. So I was listening to a bunch of shit on their MySpace page. And then, oh yeah, this was junior year. Because I was dating this girl junior year who she knew I really liked this band. So she got me for like my birthday one year. She got me like just a bunch of their merch. Wow. And like t-shirts. And this is when I didn't have a concept of like, I was just like, oh, if you're in a band, you're a big deal.
Oh yeah.
And I remember I got one of the t-shirts they signed, and I was like, oh, they signed this shirt. And it like wigged me out. But yeah, because my girlfriend at the time knew I really liked the band, she got me a bunch of their merch, and she got me this EP and their first album. And so it just turned into like, you know, it was just stuck in my CD player in my car. I was listening to it nonstop. And it just like musically listening to these guys, because I was like, what the fuck? This would be sophomore, junior year. I just started playing the drums in fucking like 8th grade. So this would be the 3rd, 4th year of me. This is the 3rd, 4th year of me getting better at the drums. I'm starting to be able to play faster, like heavier shit. The stuff you heard this album, the stuff on this album, it's like there's a lot of fast shit in there. And so I'm developing as a drummer. And, you know, this is a new fast album I'm listening to. And this album particularly had a, like, huge influence on my drumming. Like, if you hear, like, dude, down to the fills. Like, you hear this dude on this album go, like, with the drum fills right before he goes into a new part. And it's that shit where he goes, like, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Like, I would do that all the time. Yeah. You know, so this album particularly, just because it caught me at a very formative time in my drumming, it had an immense influence on my drumming style and the way I play shit. And, this also, because like I said, I didn't have a concept of like, I was like, oh, you're in a band, so you're a big deal and this and that. Not shitting on the guys. They're just not, you know, from my perspective, underappreciated. So they're just they're not as big. But like, it was really cool because I hit them up one time on YouTube, or no, on not YouTube, on MySpace, asking the drummer, like, because dude, I'm brand new at fucking playing the drums. I can't, like, playing something fast is like crazy to me. Yeah. Like, I remember, like, you know, the song
smooth, like something like that. Like you can like hit, like you probably, because didn't you start in like percussion? Like, didn't you start out in band, or did you have a drum first? Yeah, no, I started doing concert band for like 2-3 years. Then I got my drum set in 8th grade. Right. And like I could play. I was actually really happy with myself because it's like one of the first times I sat down on the drum set. I, you know, like the beat in Clint Eastwood by the Gorillaz, where it's just like doo doo da da doo doo da. I was able to like bang that out fairly proficiently a first try, which made me feel real good. But I wasn't playing like speed punk beats or nothing. Yeah. Once I learned even the simplest thing on drums, I was like, what the fuck? How does Meg White have a fucking job, dude? I was just like, what's going on here? Like, because you know Jack White. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Jack White. And before I say this, shout out Josh in the chat.
What up, Josh?
What up, Josh? Yeah, I don't know. Jack White has some goofy artist thing in. I think I saw an interview where they were talking about why he likes her or whatever, and it's just like, it's like this. I don't know. It's some like artsy thing where it comes off as it reminds me of the time where I was like, oh, I don't want to take guitar lessons because I feel like learning the guitar will I'll sound too much like other people. And it's like, it sounds like just an excuse, but I don't know. It was some weird shit where it was like, he just wants a pure drummer that's not
No.
Oh, I can't remember what the fuck it was, but I was like, no, just get a better drummer, dude.
It's got to be a power thing. That's the thing. I think eventually at one point, like as society continues to shift, he's not going to be looked upon kindly in the next Me Too movement, because there's going to be a weird thing where this is like a public humiliation thing. He made her go out there every night and play in front of thousands and thousands of people and fucking suck. I got that live album, and she sucks just as much live. They kept those versions of her drum tracks on the thing. It's straight up. This is going to be a weird fetish that he has. He loves humiliating women in front of thousands of people.
It's not a weird fetish. It's not preferred, but I think that's like that could be an offset of like BDSM.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like public humiliation. Like if he had it's like those like when you get into a weird alley on the fucking porn search and you're just like these women that are like have their titties tied up and they're like beat red. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
We're just like, what the fuck is that? Why are you suggesting this? What have I searched that makes you think I want to watch titties tied up until they're red?
You dip your toe into like slightly rough porn, and then you're 3 steps away from just like fucking a rope tied like 3 times around the titty. And you're like, why?
Why are you tying their titty like that?
They're so great. They're so great when there's not rope around them. Stop wrapping them in rope.
Yeah, they're where it's like it feels like either really really hot or really really cold, but it shouldn't feel like that. Don't do that to a titty. Like do it. It feels bad enough when it's one of your fingers and you're carrying groceries in. Why are you doing that to a titty?
You know what I think it is with Meg White? I think
titties
it's
are purple.
Yeah, she got fucking rope wrapped around her titties the whole time. That's why she can't play right.
She's like, oh my god, that makes perfect sense, dude.
Now I think it's that thing where it's like she's so bad, but like because she's bad, people get to go like you don't get it. Like I know she's not classically like she's like classically good at the drums, but like because of that, this thing happened that if you just got to listen to like 97 of their songs and then you'll truly understand it. And you're like, no, she's just bad at it.
You're like, oh, she's not even good at the fucking simple garbage beats you're doing now. Like that's like you don't even get better at those like after a while. I'm not even mad about her like simple drum parts, because I've said it a bunch like in my review videos and stuff like that. Like overly complicated doesn't necessarily mean good. Like you know what I mean? And simple doesn't mean bad. But repetition equals like improvement, right?
But no, exactly. How long have the White Stripes been a band?
Too long.
Dude, even if you never practiced one day in your goddamn life, Meg White, I'm too fat for this rage. Even if you didn't practice
momentum in mid sentence, you're just like, Meg White, just stop playing drums.
The White Stripes have poisoned me. No, but like even if you haven't practiced one day in your goddamn life, like you're touring around the world playing multiple shows a week, like you would get better. How did you not get better?
How did the drum tech not fill in most nights?
Dude, it's wild.
When they're doing warm-ups and Jack White's like, yeah, like, damn, that sounds way better. Like, what? Wait, you're playing with me? Oh shit, she's supposed to be playing with me? It's like he didn't even know that. Like, I don't know. I'm just saying that nobody ever is going to say the thing you said about Daly's Gone Wrong, about Meg White. Nobody's ever going to be like, I listened to Meg White and I knew with her. I listened to Meg White and I knew I could fucking do better than that asshole any day of the week. I could roll out of bed and have one arm still asleep and still play better than that dumb asshole. But I think there's a weird thing. I really do. I genuinely feel like there's a weird kind of BDSM thing that he's probably into, that he's just like, I love humiliating women in front of millions of people. And that's gotta be some part of it. But there's definitely better drummers you could have.
I don't think because I feel like the White Stripes Gone are like a real hipstery type crowd, and I don't think they look at Meg White in any way in like a negative way whatsoever.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, and that's I don't know.
Jack White is like truly a fucking brilliant guitar player, and he does a lot of heavy lifting.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's like, yeah, it's like if you can play at least just a solid, just a straightforward beat, Jack White's guitar playing will distract you from a lot of your nonsense.
Yeah, you just need filler. You just essentially need a metronome in the background just to keep time for him. So he can keep track to like, okay, all right, yeah, this is 4 measures of this, and I'm going to go into the next thing. You know what I mean? Whatever it is, like, and he's I don't know. I have no idea exactly how we got down on the discussion of how like the titties thing and then the Meg White thing for sure.
So what was your initial reaction when you heard this album?
It wasn't like I said, it wasn't what you thought. I don't think initially of like being like I didn't like it. It did have a familiarity to me though. Like this is something that I feel like that I have. It's surprisingly I've heard before, and it ties in actually to a pick that I've had on this very show. What about with Andy and Pat? I'm not Andy, and motherfuckers, that ain't Andy. Wait, god damn it.
Pat. Nabbit.
Damn it, Pat. Fuck. God damn it. Anyway, so I wanted to so I picked Leftover Crack. And also another thing that I've mentioned a bunch of times on the show is the fact that a lot of times with bands I come into knowledge of the band, or I become a fan of the band with the usually newest and least popular with the original fans like album, like, you know, stuff like that. So like an album where everybody that loved Against Me when they were cool, I like the album when they weren't so cool, before they became even less cool apparently. But I liked Leftover Crack because when I saw them, I was like, fuck yeah, these guys rule. And also a lot of these songs I recognize. Well, how do I know this band? Like, how do I know these songs? And I found out they're basically just the band Choking Victim, but with a new name and maybe 1 or 2 different members. So
yeah, that's right.
The band Choking Victim has a album called No Gods, No Managers, which is made in 10 years before this album. And it is, I shit you not, exactly what this album is, but 10 years earlier. And in my opinion, maybe just because this is my version, a little bit better. But this has newer versions of those things. So
I see what you're saying. They're doing the exact same thing, but the 10 years earlier version of it.
Essentially, yeah. But actually, I'm saying even some of the breakdown parts and some of the, I guess they also have a lot more, a little, even more of almost like of a Streetlight Manifesto, a lot of Spanish guitar in one song, like a couple instrumental songs that go here, but they delve into a lot of the same avenues that I feel like Daly's Gone Wrong. And not only that, but 10 years earlier.
That's really interesting. Cause I always, I'd be super interested to listen to that, because like, the other part about Daly's Gone Wrong is just the very, you know, from my perspective, the very unique sound and the way that they, like Streetlight had elements of ska, elements of punk, elements of this and that. Like when Daly's Gone Wrong does it, they literally are like, it's like, here's the ska part.
Yeah.
Here is the punk part. Here is the metal breakdown. And a lot of the thing I always liked is I can't explain it exactly. Like I feel like I can't explain it clear enough, but it just it feels natural. It doesn't, because a lot of bands will do that. Like legitimately, like pop punk bands will do it with like the pop punk bands that have the breakdowns. Oh, which sidebar? I could fucking text it to you, but remember we were asking the question, like what other bands are easycore? I found another one I forgot about.
Hell yeah.
I was listening to him the other day and I was like, oh, this would be easycore. This would be easycore, but that I'll text you about that later.
I'm excited.
Yeah, but no, they, like, so like a lot of bands who do that, it sounds I was saying pop punk bands, when like pop punk bands adding breakdowns in will, they might throw one in and it sound like a little bit forced and stuff like that. It sounds like you're like, okay, we're just meeting the breakdown quota because that's popular now. This, like, it would always like kind of itch at me because I was like, how is it like they like by the books they're doing something that should suck, but I was just like the way they always did it, it felt very natural and it didn't feel forced. I think it was because like being a ska band that also does emo parts and breakdowns, that has never been the popular thing. So it was like you could never pinpoint anything they did to like, oh, you're just hopping on a trend because they've all like that's
screams
never
local
been.
band. It screams local band. Like that's the thing. You're just taking all the things that all the members of your band like, and you're just playing that. You don't have your own identity. Like that's the thing is unless you can do all of those things, like you said, melded together to where it's not supposed to work. Like that's the part. It's not supposed to work, but it does.
But it does. Like
if you
it
do
does. What?
If you do it right, like that's the thing is, and I would venture to say, I bet this band in particular is, if not directly, maybe even somehow not related. I don't think literally, but like I think directly influenced by Choking Victim, and it shows. It really does show, and it's more of like an homage. I feel like just an updated version. Yeah.
Like I said, I never listened to Choking Victim, so I'd have to check that out. I'm like which album was it?
No Gods, No Managers, and it's.
Wait, are you gonna do a What About eventually?
I was thinking about it. You said that you didn't want to have another ska album, but it is. But
I was being funny. You can pick whatever you want. I was being
most
funny.
Likely, spoiler alert, it's probably going to be that. But
okay,
it was
all right.
I was ready to concede to say like, all right, well, I'll pick something else and we'll find out where the conversation goes. But I was like, I was really excited. I was like, I think he's really gonna like if he doesn't already know Choking Victim, because
you have all this shit set up for Choking Victim, and I said earlier, no more ska, and you're like, okay.
Okay, Mr. Malafarina. It's your Twitch, bud.
Another fun thing about this band with being a smaller band and then having more accessibility. So like I told you, I was playing I was playing the drums. I was getting better at the drums, and their song Die 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 and Then Some, which for me, I was thinking about this while listening to it. Because, like, I listened to that song. I listened to the whole album a couple times again to get refreshed. But I listened to that song specifically, like 10 times more than I've listened to the album. Because still to this day, it is it's probably in my top 10 favorite songs, if I'm thinking about it. Because it's just, like, I think for me, it's got all my genres that I love wrapped up into one song. And then they do each genre like perfect in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And then I was like listening to it a bunch, and the other reason I really like their drummer is I was thinking about it more because my head's more in, like, I'm getting the drum set soon. My head's back into like drumming. I've been making a list of like drum songs songs I want to learn the drum part for and all this and that. So I've been thinking more like a drummer lately, and I was trying to understand. I was like, what about, because it's like dudes like him. I was trying to think of other drummers that I really like. Yeah, dude, like their drummer. I know Travis Barker's like this. Like Trey Cool is like this, drummer for Green Day. And I was trying to remember more dudes, but like he's got a very like linear drumming style where it like, I don't know. It just fits. It fits like a puzzle piece better with the rest of the band. Like I told you how I didn't like the dude from Under Oath. Not that I don't like him. He's a good drummer. I just didn't love his drumming style because it felt he had a very look at me drumming style. Like he was doing too much.
Yeah.
And then like this dude, listening to it, it's a very like linear. Like yes, this is what would happen at this point. In association to like how I think about drumming. Yeah. So it actually ended up, while it's a physically difficult song to play, it actually ended up being a easy song for me to figure out, just because like I'm becoming influenced by his drumming a lot, and it just was like, oh yeah, oh yeah, that's what would go here, and and this and that. So I ended up learning how to play that song on drums, Die 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 and Then Some, the really fast one. And then oh yeah, I made a video, posted it on YouTube, and then they were playing the show. They were playing the show nearby where I used to live back in PA. And it was actually really funny because I was in the jazz band at the time. And the jazz band would play at basketball games. We would set up on the bleachers and play at the basketball games. And I remember just like the whole time I'm there, I'm like looking at the clock, just being like, I got to get the fuck out of here. Like I couldn't get out of the basketball game. But I was like, I got to get the fuck out of here so I can go see Daly's Gone Wrong play. And so, like, we're finishing up. They had this big cart that we had to wheel across the fucking parking lot from the gymnasium to the band room. And we get there, and I go to the other drummer. I was like, you got this, right? I have to get out of here. And he was just like, and I'm, like, literally walking away, being like, all right, cool, you're the man. Thanks, bro. Just being a fucking, because like I'm usually pretty like helpful. I really am. I'm a pretty nice guy. I'm pretty helpful. But like there's certain times where I'm like, I have to go see this band. So you don't matter right now.
I honestly don't give a fuck about you right now. But honestly, usually I would. So that means something. Goodbye.
9.9 times out of 10, I would be helping you so hard and staying here late and being such a good person. But right now, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I think there's a thing about like I've had stories like that where I was like, I have you ever gone to a show? This is a weird thing, but I guess how often do you go to shows alone?
I didn't do it a lot. I wouldn't do it. I never for the longest time.
I younger, right? Like not even like when you were young. Like unless you were probably meeting people at the show. Like
I didn't.
You would go to a show that you didn't know anybody there.
I didn't know that was an option.
Oh man, I went to a show. I went to see H2O.
But like here's the thing. Not to cut you off. Here's the thing. I'm not anti going to. I love going to the movies alone. I like my time. And I like maybe it's like a control thing, but I'm like if I'm the only one here, like everything goes the way I want it to. And also if it's just a thing like going to the movies, I was like I don't need another person for that. And right. I forget when because I think I had that thing where I'm like I'm not gonna be a fucking loser that goes to a show alone, and then something clicked in my head where I was like, no, what? I can just do that. Yeah. It's because there was this one local band I really like called this hardcore band called Burdens that's really good, and no one knew who the fuck they were, but like I was like I'm not gonna let that stop me from going to see them, and I went to go see them, and I was like, oh yeah. And the funniest part is you're at a show with a bunch of other people who like that band, so you immediately like get this camaraderie when you're like dancing in the pit and shit.
Yeah, I feel like I went way too young, maybe, because
how young were you?
I got dropped off by my mom in Ybor City, to at the time the Masquerade, to see H2O with two other punk hardcore bands on a Wednesday night.
I just pictured it's just a bunch of punks with the fucking like masks. We're like going to see the punk show, darling.
No, the masquerade. No. This was. There's lots of crack smokers around the around that area. That's definitely where a lot of deaths happen in Tampa Bay.
At the Masquerade
in Ybor City, for sure. Like on that corner, like that. It's been weird. Like that was the same place. This was the same exact venue where afterwards, again, waiting to be picked up by parents after seeing, it was like a super group of like Misfits. It was M25. It was members of the Misfits, the Ramones, and Black Flag. And
that's so funny. I was like, oh wait, he literally means the Misfits.
Yeah, the band, the Misfits. Yeah.
I thought you meant
the lead singer, Jerry Only, played bass. It was Dez from Black Flag, and Marky Ramone played drums.
That's pretty tight. He wasn't rapping?
No, nope. Not that. He hadn't found his chops yet. But
I was sorry you went to such a shitty show. You didn't get to see Marky Ramone rap.
We were sitting there on the corner waiting for our ride, and this guy sat down and he just like had like a crack pipe in his hand. And he just
Fuck yeah.
and he was like, he like offered it. He would like offered it to me like there's some crack. And I was
And
just
you're like no, and he's just like
thank you.
he's like it's left over, and you're like oh, he's gonna know I'm not. He's gonna know I'm a fan now.
That was I've been politely offered so many drugs in so many, like, honestly, I was in the wrong place. He was right to do what he did. He was right to go, hey, young impressionable youth, would you like to buy some crack cocaine from me? I got a pipe even.
Oh, dude, I remember because the only time I ever the majority of times I've ever gotten drugs, it's from it's from a friend who knows a guy or whatever. You know what I mean? But like I remember,
and it's very rarely crack, right?
Yeah, very few times. Not never. No.
I lost the crack guy. I still got my coke guy, but my regular crack guy, I mean, he's out of here. You got to process it yourself,
Very rarely crack. I want to stress that. So rarely crack.
Also, not as popular of a band. Very rarely crack.
A whole bunch of crack, killing it.
They love it. And leftover crack, I mean, yeah, obviously you're gonna love them because you had a good time last night.
Yeah, because you want to hang out with the guy that's got leftover crack.
What is it left? Like, look at this. I got some crack left over.
Oh, but no, I remember I was like late into life, just growing up fucking suburban and shit. I was late into life where like I had a dude on the street just do the like weed coke, or some shit like that. And I go like, I remember being like, why is he that's how they sell drugs to you.
I would be like standing out next to him going, yes, no, yes, no, yes, yes, no, yes, no, 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 yes, 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 no, yes, yes. Weed cocaine, yes, no, yes, yes. Wait, the first one, no, the first, no, not that's how, no, yes. Like just trying to get it out of his hand, like, yeah.
That's so fucking funny.
Stop saying the second one. I want the first one.
So I still the last part of what going to that show. So I bailed on the dude. I let him do all the work.
Yeah.
And I race over to this because I'm speeding because like the show was like close. It wasn't far, but it wasn't close. You know what I mean? So I was trying to get there before the band started playing. I got there in time, saw their set. It was dope. And I went up to them afterwards, and they were just being nice because, like, they probably weren't getting many people being like, "I love your band, I listen to your band," so they were real chill. And then I was just like, I remember this was, and dude, being in high school and like being in love with this band, this was the best part. So I go, "Oh, I did I was like, I did a drum cover for your one song," and I see the guy goes, "You're the drummer they And then I go, what? And he's like, yeah, you're the drummer dude. And then he turns to his band. He's like, yo. And he calls all three of them over. He goes, it's the drummer guy. And and then I see all their eyes light up. And I was like,
wow.
They all. And so I'm also like an insecure high school kid going, the band I like knows who I am and likes me. Like it was one of the best nights. And then, and then they like came over to me and were like, what's up, dude? And so that was pretty fucking tight.
Yeah, the closest thing I've had to that, like any kind of interaction like that, was like, I mean, I always like to joke around with the merch guys, but then I realized I didn't realize, I don't think until like way later on, that a lot of times the merch guys are just guys in the band, or the guys at the merch booth are usually guys that are just in the band usually.
Oh yeah,
they'll hang out there like, or cover for the guy so he can go take a break or whatever it is, like. And,
9 times out of 10, if the band's not big enough, they'll get like a girlfriend to cover it, and then when they're not playing, one of the band members will watch the merch booth.
Right, and so it's so funny. Like, so I would always fuck around with the merch guys and stuff like that. But I remember it was what's his face,
and the guy's just like, I'm John Bon Jovi.
Yeah, no, it was. I was just like, yeah, living on a prayer, right? Yeah, whatever. You got an XL. There was the merch guy for, it was like for NoFX or something like that, and I remember like he recognized me because of my tattoo. I had it on my forearm or something like that, and he was like, it was almost the same thing. Like, it was 2 Warped Tours that were almost exactly like a year apart. I felt like, or like super duper close in St. Pete, like back to back, and both times he was working like a merch booth that I was at, and was like, "Oh shit!" And like, "Hey, how you been?" And I was like, and it was so weird that like he recognized me, but we had both lived completely different lives for like a whole year, and then like just met in the almost in the exact same spot, and was like, "Oh fuck, you're the like yeah blah blah blah." But I didn't ever have like I would have had a totally different reaction. I feel like if I was you in that situation, because at that moment I would have been like, this band that I fucking idolize, turns out I'm more famous than them. And if they're like, "You're the drum guy," I'd be like, "Holy shit. Oh, that was your song. That was your song, right?"
That wouldn't mean I wouldn't be more famous than them.
I know. I'm just.
There's just not many people.
Your leg, Andy. It's a comedy.
Oh, this is a great joke.
They were more excited to see you than you were of them. You see?
No, not many people. Well, you said no. You fucked up because you said famous, and then my autistic brain was like, "Well, that's factually inaccurate." And
or the fact that you were like the only guy that did a drum cover.
Yeah, I don't know if they got too many drum covers.
But again, YouTube wasn't a thing at the time.
No, it was. It was like early stages of YouTube.
By the way, I want to hear the follow up of the kid that ended up getting crushed by the bleachers because you didn't help him secure it, and he got crushed by all the equipment or whatever.
No. It was the end of the night, and we it was the end of the night, and we because we had this little cart to move the drum set around. Mm-hmm. So we had the drum set all packed up in the cart, and then we wheeled it to right outside the band room. So it was right outside the band room, and I was like, "All right, later, dude. Go fuck. You figure this out, dickhead."
Right, and he pushes it in, and all of a sudden, just everything falls on top of him, and he's trapped, and he's dead.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's just like, "Yeah, that's me." And you're like, "Yeah, I'll take a picture with you guys. I love you." Next day, headline: "Kid's dead."
Yeah.
Also, factually inaccurate. I just want everybody to know that, guys. It actually happened.
Not a real thing. Not a real thing.
I don't mean to laugh at people that got crushed by things. I apologize. Formally. So yeah. So you all the guys crowd around you. Did you? By the way, did you
They all let me suck them off.
No. Did you get any free merch? I would try to turn this into free merch somehow.
No, I didn't get free merch.
I would have been like, "That's awesome! Like that's a cool hat."
Yo, you can't not Florida over there, buddy. You trying to fucking Florida these people all day.
Always be closing, dude. Always be closing. I came here. You got an XL. Yo, Bon Jovi, what's up, dude?
Bon Jovi.
That one right there.
I got a prayer, and it's fucking getting a free tee.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing one of the other songs on the album. Maybe I could wear one of those shirts in the video.
Just John Bon Jovi's falling at you. Wait, you covered a song on drums?
What? I'm the drum guy.
Will you fuck my wife?
Oh yeah, dude. I mean,
Pat, get over here and fuck John Bon Jovi's wife. John Bon Jovi's saying this. He's like, fuck John Bon Jovi's wife.
Like pointing at her pussy. Fuck John Bon Jovi's wife's pussy.
John Bon Jovi's wife. Yeah, I also too the other thing, how'd you feel about the dude's singing voice? Because that was another thing that was big for me. I was really into anything that had elements of like the hot band dude thing. So the high voice, or whatever it may be. That's why I was so into the dude from Taking Back Sunday, because he had that perfect, pretty boy emo band look to him. So I was like, oh, I want to look like that. And I was just I was obsessed with the dude having such a high pitched voice. And I also thought it just added another cool element to the whole thing musically, because it was another thing that sort of felt, with exception to the emo shit, it sort of felt out of place in context to everything else and still worked really well.
Yeah, I don't at no part did I think that it didn't work together. I think all of the element, I truly do. I think it's funny because it reminded me so much of Choking Victim that none of this was jarring. None of it surprised me in a bad way. It was
so interesting.
it was just really cool to say like, oh shit, like cool, like it was just like an updated version of it. It was really cool, and it didn't distract me at all. I didn't really think it was that high pitched either. I didn't think it was as like too whiny of a tone. Like it wasn't like too like I don't know. I don't know how to put it. Like I don't know any other.
It wasn't. Well, it sounds like this shit was more. Without ever listening to it, it was more familiar to you than I would have expected.
He had a very strong. I felt like it was a strong singing voice, like because
he had a great voice. It wasn't like nasally whiny.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't like it was power. Like it was kind of like the way I felt about what was like in my opinion peak Seosin. After the guy from Circus Survive left, and before the next, I think there was another guy that came in or whatever. Like their second album that came.
You just reminded me the guy from Circa was in it. I'm so like.
Yeah. Dom told me about it. I didn't know. I was the fan of the big famous Seosin album.
I'm finally
early or anything.
Sorry, I cut you off. I'm sorry.
That's all good. No, I was saying I was not into them early by any means. I was actually, that was the end of my sentence. I was saying like, I caught them right as they got famous.
I'm finally like, because I wasn't into that shit too much in high school, and I'm finally getting into it now with like Dance Gavin Dance is becoming one of my favorite bands right now. Yeah. And so I've been more open to that style of music. And like, yeah, Dance Gavin Dance, Seosin, Circus Survive, they all fit into like a similar element.
Dude, I might pick Seosin. I might pick a Seosin album for my album because I think you should just enjoy Choking Victim. I don't think we should have to review it or anything.
Don't do a big old talk about I'm going to listen to it regardless.
Oh, yeah. Or maybe we could, if we ended up doing that as a bonus episode at some point or anything like that. I mean, who knows? There's always these opportunities. They always arrive for us, yes? When I run out of things to say, I go into accents.
Pat's doing Italian. He's lost shit to talk about. The last thing I wanted to say about the album, too, is especially with a lot of these like emo, pop punk, bands like that, there is a now this wasn't the case with these guys because there was what the fuck, there was one of the songs where like the bass was fucking ridiculous and all this stuff. They're all very talented, but with a lot of these like pop punk emo bands, it's like what they lack sometimes in their ability to play the instruments. Well, Take 'Em Back Sunday wasn't bad at their instruments, they just weren't overly complicated or whatever. But like for anything they lack in their ability to play, they make up for in like the passion and like in the passion of playing. And I always felt like, cause you can hear this stuff and a lot of the stuff. We got Ron in the chat. What's up, dog?
Premium Ron.
He wants us to hydrate.
Does tea count?
Yes, it does. But like, and you could hear it. This album too, like it's self-produced. You can kind of hear it, but it's like a pretty well done self-produced album. Mm-hmm. And it's what was I trying to say? Oh yeah, there's like little parts where there might be like minor hiccups here and there, but it's like that thing that overall. I was actually thinking about what you were saying about how, you know, this kind of sounds like what they might sound live. I thought it had like a real raw, almost like borderline live feel to like certain parts. So and
they independently produced it themselves?
I think their bassist is like a record producer. Wow. Or like or engineer. More, that's probably a better term. He's like a more accurate term. I think he's like a sound engineer. Okay. So one of their band members has a recording studio. And so I'm pretty sure they self-produced it and stuff. And but no, even with like any minor hiccups here and there musically, it's still like they still make up for any problem with like immense passion in the shit they play. And it just felt, I don't know, it just felt very real. And because I hate when the shit's too overly produced and it doesn't sound, it lacks and is like devoid of like that realness or whatever. Yeah. So that was like a big thing. Besides just the actual music itself, that was like a big emotion that shined through on this album that really got me invested and like got me into listening to it multiple times.
Yeah, I think there's I would have been I would have absolutely guessed that somebody in the band designed the cover art. Maybe not necessarily recorded. It does sound pretty good considering the production of it, because literally one of the things I said was Choking Victim is just a better, like, just kind of like a more produced version, and just earlier on. And then I feel like there's not a lot that you can, because 2009 record, home studios.
Oh, no. It's labeled wrong on Spotify. I think this came out in like 05 or something like that.
Oh, okay. So it's definitely not as, but okay. So it's not 10 years earlier. It would be 6 years earlier.
Yeah.
Because Choking Victim came out in 1999.
Oh, okay.
At that album, at least. And there was ones before that. So actually it may be closer. They may actually know them. Maybe there is a version of that. So in that case, like, for that to be, and again,
I'm not ignoring you. I'm trying to look up the date.
And whatever the actual genre that this may be, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even know actually what they would have that categorized as. I don't know if it says actually on Spotify.
What genre the band is?
Even like, Choking Victim or any of them. Like, it like, there is not a, like, it seems like if they just had this same album on something like, again, like, speaking of Choking, like on Hellcat Records or something like that, just like an independent label, but with professional studios and stuff like that,
it sounds,
it'd be a little bit more rounded out, the sound.
This label sounds corny coming out of my mouth, but like, I think you'd maybe call it like ska-core or something like that. I don't know. It's hard to like put a specific genre, because like they do that thing where it's like, all right, here's the emo part, here's the punk part, here's the ska part, here's the hardcore part. So you're almost, it's like,
you said that's so cute.
Hardcore. I was talking to
part.
my tongue was like, slow the fuck down.
This thing's about to break the fuck down right now. Here we go.
Yeah. And I meant to go to their concert, but it was past my bedtime.
Because my mom said that my eyes would hurt tomorrow at school.
But yeah, no, it'd be hard to really pinpoint the exact genre of this.
It's hard. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like that. And that's a really, a truly unique thing that I think is, it's eerie almost how well that they are able to reproduce that, because Choking Victim and Leftover Crack are literally, and I mean this seriously, and this is actually a really good point that I think people in the chat may like as well. This is really interesting to me, right? Leftover Crack is, in members' names, like literally the people that are in Leftover Crack and Choking Victim, I believe they're at least 50%, if not 75%, from those bands, from when I saw them to starting a new band. And when I saw Leftover Crack, they played a ton of Choking Victim songs.
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool. Now, I've seen Rancid plenty of times, and Rancid is literally Operation Ivy, and they just swapped one member. That's all they did.
Which one?
Instead of having the lead singer Jesse, they have Lars Fredriksson, another guitar player and singer. It's
really?
The exact same band. I mean, nowadays, I think their drummer, they have a new drummer now also, but for the longest time, and definitely most of the times that I've seen Rancid, it is literally Operation Ivy with just one different member. And they never fucking played an Operation Ivy song. Fucking
so funny.
That pisses me off so much, and makes me, like, over my time, my bitterness that is built for Rage Against the Machine over the years, just because of the fucking bullshit message that never pays off. I feel like I'm starting to get that same way, and I started to really turn on Rancid when Lars Fredriksson left me on red on Instagram, Instant Messenger. It really pisses me off.
You take shit personally.
Dude, I was at the exact same fucking event that he was as a member of the press. I had press credentials. I was reaching out. I reached out to his fucking management. Don't put yourself on the fucking management call sheet, like, for me to contact you for interviews if you have absolutely no interest in doing it, please. Yeah.
You heard it here first. Don't ever cross Pat George.
Be a little bit more professional if you're going to be in a punk band, bud. Okay?
It's not very punk rock to not do interview. Oh wait, that's super punk rock. Yeah. Lars Fredriksson, you're very punk, and keep pissing off my friend.
No, you're not. I hate you.
No,
I don't hate you. I just don't like you. You were never in Operation Ivy, and you're never gonna be in Operation Ivy. You fucking bum. You know what Tim Armstrong did when I reached out to him at Warped Tour? Yeah, man, no problem. I think we should. Yeah, absolutely. And I got a fucking sweet ass picture with Tim Armstrong. Couldn't have been a sweeter fucking punk rocker. But guess what, Lars Fredriksson? You look like shit, and your fashion is terrible. Stop thinking that you're a good dresser. You're not.
It'd be so funny if he was just like,
he's watching.
It'd be so funny if he was just like looking at his phone then and was just like, oh, this should be fun, and then just something catastrophic happened.
It's like he got a call and his like daughter's in the hospital.
Yeah, and you're like, Lars Fredriksson, I hope you die because you didn't talk to Pat George.
That would be a Curb Your Enthusiasm. Fucking, I would take any day of the week.
The 50th most important employee at Hard Times.
And not only that, but he like took a screenshot and made a vow that he was like gonna make that interview up one day. He finally looks me up and he just catches this clip and it's just like, what the fuck? Dude, this guy's an asshole.
Lars, why'd you stop playing music? Pat broke me. I thought he liked me.
I do all this for my fans and it's just never good enough.
You fucking he's got a fucking spider web on his head or whatever, and you fucking crack him. He's like, yeah, it's just, I got all the tattoos, but it doesn't mean I'm not a person on the inside.
Doesn't mean I'm not human.
Doesn't mean I don't feel.
I feel. Yeah, I may have a tattoo on my head, but it doesn't mean I don't feel.
I felt the tattoo when they put it on me, and I felt those comments Pat George made. Yeah,
you're right. Maybe I took it a little too far. Your fashion's great, Lars.
And it's what I love. I don't want you to stop because I never want you to not be you, but you take shit so personally.
Turn your red receipts off, man. Just turn your red receipts off like every other goddamn celebrity. Like, dude, you're not a celebrity, but just turn it off like you were one. Please.
Yo, he's punk, dude. He doesn't give a shit what you think.
He has a fucking cell phone with an Instagram account. He cares a little bit.
Nah, he's punk.
He's got a blue check mark, dude. He's got a blue check mark, which is basically the fucking you're just a fucking douchebag.
He's punk as fuck, dude. Punk as fuck.
Punks with blue check marks, I'm calling you out right now. Fuck you. You're a poser.
Yeah, if you're punk with a blue check mark, you're a fucking poser. Except Lars Fredriksson, who is the fucking man.
You're like friends with him. Is he related to you or something? You kind of look like him.
It's funny. He's my fucking uncle, dude. And you know what? You pissed him off that day.
Grab a Sharpie real quick and write punks on your fucking forehead real quick.
Lars Fredriksson wanted you to interview him before Tim that day, and it fucking pissed him off.
Right. You know what? You're absolutely right. I'm the asshole. That's my
He was just like, wait. He's like, Pat already talked to you?
Like, why would he?
Why would he do that? Why would he do that? I wanted to talk to Pat.
Oh, man. He told me he's going alphabetical. Whatever. Tim Armstrong.
That's not alphabetical, but wait, Armstrong. Okay, never mind.
Come on, man.
I went Tim Lars.
If I'm making a letter or a word joke, I've done my research.
I'm doing Tim Lars. You had that prep. This is a totally unnatural segue.
Yeah, this was all of the prepared material. Okay, and then now let's get into the show.
Oh, and time to start the show.
The Daly's gone wrong.
I was gonna say this. Now for my ranted fun fact. Their bassist assaulted me. No. No, their current drummer. Mm-hmm. You know who he used to play for?
I'm gonna guess Hot Water Music.
No, The Used.
The Used what?
Stop it.
Just kidding. I get it.
No, I always thought, yeah, and
like the OG guy, or he was a drummer in The Used at one point.
No, he was like the dude. He was one of the main drummers for The Used.
You remember I told you that weird drummer swap, with that Coheed and Dillinger did? Dillinger Escape Plan and Coheed and Cambria just did a drummer swap.
Really?
Yeah, isn't that fucking weird?
Yo, also, I think the drummer from Rise Against was in No, Against Me.
Yeah.
Wrong against band. Against Me.
All time low. You meant all time low. Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, I meant all time low. All time low is Rancid.
So no, I thought Against Me. So Against Me, I think used to have the drummer from.
No, they currently have the drummer from Senses Fail.
Oh, that's
yeah. I love these emo bands. Their drummers getting into like, fucking classic punk bands.
And also, it shows that like drummers really don't give a shit. They just like I think for the most part, and this goes back to our conversation we were having about Dave Grohl on the last episode. But I feel like that's why most I think drummers are oftentimes the most qualified musicians of all the musicians in the group. Do you know what I mean? Like they're like a lot of times I think drummers are just down to play in any band.
Well, can I realistically? Realistically, can I be real?
Hey, Andy, don't give me any fake bullshit right now. Keep it real.
Yo, I'm gonna keep it real. As a drummer, going from playing in the Used to playing in Rancid, you don't really have to change much up.
Yeah, are you kidding me?
Well,
that's way different.
No,
is Used the one who goes,
yes,
that man?
Well, it involved like stylistic. I don't know how to explain it, but like if I was playing in like an emo band and then Rancid was like, "Yo, can you fill in for us?" It would just be a matter of like learning the parts. It wouldn't be some like crazy. It wouldn't be some like crazy shit I'd have to learn.
No. It wouldn't be like a huge train. It wouldn't be like. That's what I'm saying though. Is I think music, like those are two very different styles of bands, and also productions in general, like stage productions. Like if you go to a Rancid show, it's pretty bare bones. Like they do have like I think when I saw them at the festival thing, they had like a little like video thing that kind of played, but not like a ton. They don't have like a ton of production. But if you're playing with like the Used, not that they're like an arena rock band necessarily, but they're a little bit more. They got a higher budget. I feel like a bigger record label behind them.
Okay, I'm more just talking about like drumming style.
But I'm saying, but that's what I mean. Even drumming style, like as far as like their like, I was saying all of the similarities as well as differences. Like, it's an easier style maybe for the drummer.
I'll put it this way. It is very like it might.
I don't think they're the same at all, though.
I'm not saying they're the same at all. I'm just saying the skill set makes it very easy to shift from one style to another.
Right. And what I was saying was drummers are more open to that shift. Like all of those musicians should be able to play in both of those bands if they're professional musicians. But drummers, I think, are more game because I think that's why you don't see a ton of like the guitar player from this band goes to this completely the guitar player from Coheed didn't go from Coheed to Dillinger because he's like, I don't want any of that mess. But the drummer is like, fuck yeah, I'm down. Do you know what I mean? And that's why it goes to my argument of like why not only is Dave Grohl a great rock drummer, but a great musician, one of the greatest musicians of our time.
Greatest musicians of our time?
Yeah, I actually upped it. I took it even out of drummer. Not only is he one of the greatest drummers, but he's actually one of the greatest musicians. Prolific, none to boot, I'll tell you.
I don't know. I'm like, whatever about the Foo Fighters.
No, not the Foo Fighters. Dave Grohl.
Yeah, he's in the Foo Fighters.
Yeah. But he's
what else does he do?
Them Crooked Vultures, Queens of the Stone Age, Probot, Tenacious D. What else? Like that's what I'm saying. Those bands, like those different projects, even in general, are quite an array of different types of music, and he's originally a drummer.
They're not.
Nirvana. He also did Nirvana. Do you know he was in Nirvana?
Who?
Nirvana, the guy. Remember that guy?
No.
Click, click, boom. Remember the original click, click, boom.
No, I guess what I was saying earlier is just like you need the same Oh, fucking Ron said he was on a few Nine Inch Nails songs.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we were talking.
I don't know how to explain it, but like all those bands you said, it's like, dude, if you just know rock drumming, you're able to. Maybe them Crooked Vulture's a little different because they're more like harder rock, right? I don't listen to them.
And he does some pretty elaborate shit on. Like I said, there's ultimately, I think if you were to, I don't know. I guess
here's my thing about Dave Grohl.
Was just saying that he was that drummers in general, I think, are just down to be like, fuck yeah, dude, let's fucking jam, bro.
Well, I will say though, what did you say? The dude from Coheed went to Dillinger.
They swapped the drummer.
That actually
swapped.
That actually is shocking because I'll tell you, as a drummer, your average drummer, if they were like, you want to fill in for Dillinger, they'd be like, no fucking way.
Right. Yeah,
but
like, fuck yeah, I'm bored as fuck over here. I want to go over this guy's, and like the guy from Dillinger's like, I need a break.
Yeah, but if you're in the Used and they go, do you want to go fill in for Rancid? It's like gonna be very easy to do that. It's just, and I know, and I admit I'm not explaining it well because I think sometimes I'm bad at like explaining the drumming shit but it's just the skill set you have, learning that like. All like everything that fits under like that rock genre, it's like the skill set is all very interchangeable. You just have to do it slightly differently. You know what I mean? Like if I'm playing like a fast part in a Used song, I'm gonna be playing it a little bit differently in a fast part of a Rancid song, but it's still generally the same concept.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why'd you get quiet?
Because I feel like we're talking in circles. Like I was just about to make my same points, but I was just like, yeah, I think I just don't completely understand what you mean. I understand what you're saying, but I feel like it's a.
No, okay, I'll put it this way. So musically as a whole, the Used and Rancid are very different.
Yeah.
But the skills you need to be in both bands are more similar than you think. If that makes any sense.
No, I get that. It's still percussion, but I'm saying even just it's the absolute, even rock music in general, but there's much different. I don't know if they have even just like as far as like if you're used to playing longer songs or shorter songs, if they're, you know, like just the way they play or anything like that. I think just the styles of the bands is enough that you would need, you need a little bit of practice, but you would definitely be game and definitely be able to do it because you probably already know a lot of the songs.
I mean, if you're like a professional touring drummer, I think it would just be a matter of learning how to play the songs.
I think we both know one thing for sure. Meg White couldn't do fucking either one.
Meg White couldn't do fucking shit.
Fucking idiot with her tits tied up. Fucking idiot.
Can you imagine fucking Dillinger's like, here's our new drummer, Meg White, and they hit the first note. They hit the first note, and she's like,
you are fired.
Get out of here, you weird bitch.
Oh man.
So yeah,
she just drops the sticks. Oh shit. Hold on a second, guys. Give me a second. Okay. Faster. Faster.
It's just like they're just like 1, 2, 3, 4. Doom, 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 doom.
I did this at my last job.
Fuck yeah. This has been a good ass episode.
Checking out Meg White.
Is every episode gonna end with a Dave Grohl debate?
It may, until you come around. I feel like I feel like it's my job in this universe to make you come around, or just come.
I think here's my thing about Dave Grohl, and I'll end on this. My thing about Dave Grohl, I think he is immensely talented. I think he's a really good drummer. I think he's a really good musician. But I think his like his status is a little overinflated, or not his status. His whole thing's a little overinflated because he's such a good personality. Like he's so likable, and you want to get on board, and it kind of like overfluffs up how how prolific everything he does is. That's my opinion. I'm also I'm not like musically, I'm not a Dave Grohl dude.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, and I'll say the one thing that I about Dave Grohl that I very rarely say is that he's a good dude. I always talk about how good his music is. Yeah, sure, he's a funny guy, he's nice or whatever, but like I don't picture him like making me laugh when you know what I mean? Like I think about him in a studio, like not even like toiling. I think it's a true passion of his, and I think it's something that he is. Like I was saying about jujitsu earlier in the before times when we were doing the pre-show.
Yeah.
If once he has been so not only prolific in the sense of it's a lot of just hard rock music, but he has dabbled in country, lighter music, different types of music, comedy. He's willing to do. He's like just like one of the most. I feel like as far as like, I feel like his celebrity absolutely is because of his personality. I think you're absolutely right with that.
Yeah, but
I personally am a fan of his, like as a musician and as a performer overall, like as an artist. I feel like that's what I appreciate him for. But I do agree with you. I think the reason everybody knows his name is because of his personality, and I totally understand what.
And that goes in hand, and you know clearly it's not how you feel, but it's like a lot of people will be like, "Oh, Dave Grohl's the best drummer," and it's like, no, he's the drummer you know.
No. I say that. No, that's what I say. If you say that, and that's what I'm saying, is like that's where our personal like debate comes in, is the fact that I am saying that he is one of the greatest drummers.
No. I'm saying a lot of people who say Dave Grohl is one of the greatest drummers is because like the average person is because it's like, no. He's just the drummer. How many drummers do you actually know the name of?
Right.
He's the drummer you know the name of.
Yeah.
But also too, it's like, I feel like I don't even know. It's like a dumb, or I'm almost just like reluctant to keep making the point because it's like it undermines how much I do like Dave Grohl. I truly do like Dave Grohl a lot.
Right, but see, that's what I'm saying. Is like, do you like him a lot because of his personality?
Yeah, I like his personality, and I like a lot of the music he makes.
Right, I like him because of like every part of the way that he presents himself. Every bit of body of work that he has, I feel like overall, percentage wise, even just in general, I don't necessarily love every Foo Fighter song, but I respect him as far as somebody who is a very big controlling part of that band, and including being all of the performers on the first album, being somebody who does a project like Probot where he partners up with every track is him performing with a different metal artist, and including Lemmy from Motorhead. He does a song with Jack Black by himself. He does a song with King Diamond. He does songs with all these bands, or all these performers, and whatever that person does, like Lemmy plays bass and sings, he does everything else. So he does the guitar, the bass, the drums, everything else, and then each thing. So like that, something like that is something that I personally, and that's why I'm saying like I feel like he is, but it may be, I'm saying as far as his body of work is the only true part of like the reason why I feel like he is one of the best rock drummers, because he's been so prolific over the years and had such a vast body of work with.
But wait, I'm just confused because it's like in saying why he's such a great drummer, you've brought up his ability to be charming and play the guitar.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you were just talking about like him. You're like, he's such a good drummer.
Musician. He's like,
okay. No. That's a different story then, because I knew he could play all the instruments, but the thing you're telling me about, what was it, Probot?
Probot, yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, in the conversation of like, I was just getting confused because it sounded like in the conversation of best rock drummer, you're bringing up his guitar playing ability. You know what I mean?
Well, what I was just going to say is the fact that when like any of those things, as far as like, that's why I'm personally drawn to him. But in that, being a fan of those things, even though I'm not a diehard Foo Fighters fan, I'm not a diehard anything else, I recognize the fact that he's worked from a drummer for Nirvana, a huge, humongous rock band, Foo Fighters, a huge, humongous rock band, He is a drummer on all but the, I think, past 2 Tenacious D albums. He did all the drumming on that. And also all of the live performances, him with Them Crooked Vultures and Queens of the Stone Age, both of those like bands. As far as that body of work, just that hand, like that is to me, like, okay, the drummer from Led Zeppelin was the drummer from Led Zeppelin. Cool. And then nice. All right, cool. And then you died. And then you fucking died. And then you have Neil Peart. Oh yeah, you were the drummer for Rush. And then you died.
So it's amount of bands you've played in?
Amount of those like iconic bands. All of those bands fill fucking arenas, dude.
Yeah, but then by that argument you could be like, well then Taylor Swift's drummer's the best drummer.
No, because you don't know who he is.
Yeah, but he fills a bigger arena,
and she doesn't use that. No, he doesn't. Nobody. When you buy a ticket, it doesn't say fucking Taylor Swift's drummer, dude. It says Taylor Swift. That's the person filling the arena.
Yeah, but Tenacious D's ticket says Tenacious D. Them Crooked Vultures ticket says Them Crooked Vultures.
Right, and those people.
I'm just saying by that parameter, if we're going based off numbers, there's
also Taylor Swift isn't a rock performer. I don't think.
Well, no, you're just talking about drummers. You're not talking about rock. Or wait, were you saying rock drummers or drummers?
Yeah, all of those things are rock. All of those things. If we're saying rock drummers, like you said, John. You brought up John Bonham. I feel like in the last time we talked about it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I said he played with another person that he also played with. So John Paul Jones doesn't play with any fucking drummer in the world. He plays with fucking John Bonham and Dave Grohl. So I think like even he's recognizing like this guy's a pretty good drummer. I'm going to play with this guy. You know what I mean? Like I feel like there's argument to say he's at least one of them, like of the greatest rock drummers.
He's on the same level as John Bonham?
Absolutely.
No, not at all. Not at all. Just on pure drumming ability, not at all. Dave Grohl is a great drummer, but he's not on the same level as John Bonham.
Huh? I disagree.
All right. Well, I have to leave soon, so we can take this up next week.
We will.
This was fun. I love fucking debating music and shit.
Yeah, dude. It's been doing the show is really.
I'm gonna be listening to fucking Led Zeppelin all week, just being like, what the fuck is he talking about?
Dude, it's you did great, bud. Awesome, but like it's. To say like it doesn't take away from John Bonham the fact that Dave Grohl is as good as John Bonham. It doesn't take away from him. Why does
I'm not saying it takes away from him. I'm just saying they're not like drumming ability. They're not on the same level.
Right, Dave Grohl's better.
You get out of here.
He's better. He's a better drummer.
He's a better drummer than John Bonham.
Still got air in his lungs. That's one. Step one's great. Honestly, who do you want to hear play drums better? Okay, let's hear John
right now.
Here, I can hear him right now. Killing it. He's over there.
Nah,
John
dude,
Bonham's
just
in the corner. He's playing a kit.
Just like I gotta listen to more John Bonham to get more context, so I can have a better explanation of it and whatever. But it's just like the patterns and the shit he could do on the drums, just like from a creativity standpoint, it was just unreal.
Dave Grohl was able to somewhat replicate in Them Crooked Vultures as the drummer. He was able
I don't know. I never listened to Them Crooked Vultures.
Yeah, I would feel if you were going to do a side by side, like find your like what you feel like is like the greatest album that he was able to contribute to, John Bonham, that in your opinion. And then put that, especially if you haven't actually, you know what? That'll be my album then. There you go. Then if you haven't heard Them Crooked Vultures, that's the album.
Is that what you're picking?
Yeah. Sort through your John Bonhamness. Find him the bottom of your heart. From the bottom of your heart. Find out who you love. And
dig
then
down to the bottom of your heart.
Listen to that one first, and then compare it to Them Crooked Vultures. And then
which Them Crooked Vultures album?
They only have one.
Oh, they only won?
Yeah, they did a lot of performances.
Led Zeppelin has more albums, so that means they're better.
At least 4, right? They came up with really cool names.
They have way more than 4, you son of a bitch.
Oh, doesn't it go 1, 2, 3, 4? That's cool.
And then they do other albums after that? You fucking idiot.
Oh, yeah. All of my love. All of my love. I don't like Foo Fighters.
I never said I don't like Foo Fighters. All right.
Oh, that's hard. How's he doing that?
What I don't know. What are you doing right now?
I'm playing one of their hits, All of My Love. John Bon Jones is really prolific. Boo, ga, boo, ga, boo.
Pat,
Man, fuck, that's iconic, bro.
Pat, you're doubling down. You're doubling down because you want to disagree with me, and you're looking like a fool. You're looking like a fool.
It's called Cheap Heat, bro.
What?
New Jersey sucks. I fucking hated this town. You can suck my dick. Cheap Heat, bro. I'm going Cheap Heat here. I know John Bonham's a good drummer, dude. Come on.
You're sounding like a fool, Patrick.
But what about that show you have to go to, huh?
Yeah, I gotta go. They start that shit late every time. All right, this has been fucking awesome. I love, because also too, it's fun. It's fun in this day and age when everyone fucking hates each other. It's just like a no debate in music's just like a no consequence argument. It's fucking fantastic.
Nobody really gets hurt except for maybe unless like somebody gets. We gotta hydrate.
Oh, we did that already. All right, we gotta wrap this up. This has been fucking awesome.
Hell yeah.
Thank you for hanging out. Check out Pat at Baby Mermaid Productions. The link is on the screen this whole time. What's the newest thing you're putting out, Pat?
The newest thing I'm putting out, hopefully, I believe soon, the 6 a.m. podcast is back. And yeah, baby, I'm the co-host now. I'm a co-host, and it's me as a white belt and my instructor, my professor, I apologize. Jeff Beck is a black belt, and we're going to be doing weekly shows, and segments included Ask a Black Belt. So if anybody has a question for a black belt that they'd like to submit, please send it to babymermaidproductions@gmail.com, and I will ask Jeff the question on the next show. And also check out the show to see if your question is featured. And that's actually, we don't have a release date yet. Every week at Baby Mermaid Productions on YouTube.
So go follow Pat on social media, and he'll post about that. You guys know my shit, Andy Malfrina. Come back tomorrow, 7 p.m. We'll be hanging out, doing Twitch shit. Until then, thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out. Be nice, don't be dick. And always remember, be about it, bitches. Bye-bye.
John Bottom sucks.